You see here, kid? You gotta just go for it. Don't think about what comes after or what came before. You just gotta bend your knees, take a deep breath, and jump. And you might think, what if I fall? Well, what if you don't? What if you fly?
Switching command to internal.
From the Collaborative Studios, Open the Eye, where metaphysical, paranormal, and the unexplained meet. Open the Eye with Tanya Tyler.
In life, we come across people that make a dent in our soul. These people are amazing, and sometimes they're not amazing, but they make a dent, and this is a positive dent that I want to talk about. This woman was on the show not too long ago, and we talked about her channeling the Galactic Federation. We also talked about a modality that she does. She's an energy practitioner. She does starfire energies. And it was important for me to bring her back on today because she's here in Wimberley, Texas, which is amazing. And we just got done doing a session for the last couple of days. And so she is amazing. Her name is Dottie Woodward, energy practitioner, founder of Starfire Energies, channel to the Galactic Federation. Dottie, thank you so much for being on the show. I'm excited. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So how do you like Wimberley so far?
I love it. It's amazing.
And you've been here for a few days, so you've gotten to be acclimated.
Yes.
To this.
Yes.
Thank you for doing a group session a couple days ago. You did a group session, I guess it was yesterday, where you did some Starfire Energies, but in a group session, correct? Because you do individual. Let's talk a little bit before we jump into that. Let's talk a little bit about what is Starfire Energies, what is channeling. You've been on the show before, so let's just open the doors and just start going through there.
Okay, sounds like a plan.
So Starfire Energies, just walk us back through this, how you came across all of this.
I'm a Reiki master teacher, and I was teaching Reiki about 30 miles from my home for 2 very intensive weekends, and came home and was very, very tired. And so I went to bed, got up the next morning, and went into the shower, and in four seconds, I was downloaded with the information of what I was supposed to do. And I knew exactly what color it was supposed to be, the shape of the star, what it was supposed to do for people, how I was supposed to do it, what it would look like when I attune people. They told me that it was a special energy that came from the universal source, Galactic Federation, and how it would clear people of some of the things, that the energies and the issues that they were having, and it would give people less judgment, more love, more compassion, and it would expand the people in different, each person in a different way. And so I jumped out of the shower, and I went to Office Max and got 5 domain names just to protect it and make sure it was fine. And then I went to the radio lab and got speakers, an audio system, and because they showed me that I would probably be speaking to audiences. And then I went home. Before that, I went to the paint store and got a whole conglomeration of paints, because the color that they showed me, I had been painting before, watercolors, and the color of the star that I was supposed to paint, I thought I needed to mix the paint. So I would say for at least 2 weeks I was covered in paint, and it was all over the kitchen until I got it right. And then I started creating different things that would advertise it, and I started looking for places to practice it. And I gathered my friends, and I explained to them what it was, and I said, "Do you want to buy into this?" And some of them it really called to them. And so I would say for the next 5 years that we worked in many, many places, including Europe, doing Starfire and working on people in different workshops. So it's been a wonderful, wonderful experience.
It's amazing to me how this energy modality feels. And we're going to talk a little bit about my session as we get through this. So as you go through this and you explain it to your friends, hey, this is kind of where I'm going. This is what I want to do. What were some of those sessions like? I mean, did you have to kind of figure out, walk us through a session first. Let's walk us through a session. What do you do?
Okay. When I have a Starfire workshop, we advertise it, and I have to tell you, in the shower, I was told that not everyone would want it, not everyone would be familiar with it, or it would not charge them to a point where they wanted to have it or have it done to them. So we knew that. So I knew that that at first it was, people would say, oh, what is this? Okay, well, maybe. And so we had a lot of maybes. But then again, I started to do some expos, and people from other different areas would come in, and they would really be attracted to the star and the colors on the brochures that I had made up. And so they would come, and we started with introducing myself so that they would know that there was credibility. I wasn't someone just coming down from the woods doing something crazy. So I would introduce myself, and then I would introduce Starfire and tell them how it came about and what it would do for them in different ways. And so then we would do a guided meditation to calm the people and put them in a relaxing place. And after that, then I would, when I had my team, they didn't have the Starfire energy within them. And I knew that when I had been downloaded in the shower, that they had downloaded the Starfire energy into all of my systems within me, my physical being. So my team and I started, and they would hold space and help with the energy and help with the people. And after the guided meditation, I would do the Starfire activation on, and before, as soon as I would start by holding their hands. I would go into my heart, get out of my head, go into my heart, and I would receive an affirmation from the the Council of Light, because that's what I work with. I've been working with the Council of Light for quite a few years. So after I gave them the affirmation from the council, and that affirmation did not come from me, it came from the council, and they knew, the council knew exactly what the person needed. And so it was usually a 1 or 2 sentences. And so every place that I would put the energy onto the person's physical body, they had to say the affirmation. And so the affirmation was usually something that they needed, that in the foreseeable future or in the recent past, it usually turned out to be something that they were having issues with that they couldn't get over. And it was an affirmation to help them. I could see that it was to help them get over the issue and work through it and remind them to be the light that they could be. And so I created a little card that as soon as they got the affirmation and they were finished with the Starfire attunement, they would write the affirmation in their card, because later on, I found out that they would put it in their bedroom. They would put it in their office. They would put it in their living room. Some people even wanted bigger paintings of the star, and actually, the council told me that was a very intense vibration from the card, the picture of the star, and. One thing that happened when I went to Office Max to get the domain names, I had my painting with me, and it was it was bigger than an 8x10 because afterwards I had to shrink it down. But I was at one part of the store, and this gentleman from the whole way over on the other side of the store came running over, and he said, "What is this? What is this? I have to see what this is." And so I had to spend time telling him exactly how the star occurred. So that, to me, I think that was an affirmation that I was going to be doing things that I needed to be doing for people.
It sounded like that was your affirmation yourself, just knowing that
Yes.
this is it for sure.
Yeah.
I like that. So in the group, you basically go around, we do meditation, and then you go and you activate. Is that what you call it? Activation? And you put, and at that time that you're doing this, you're putting the starfire energies inside each person.
Yes.
And so you stood each of us up individually, and then you would do something. Were there certain areas that you were
Yes.
told, or were they all different, or were they all the same areas that you were placing?
No, because actually there are certain points in every human that I would start with the star chakra 12 inches above the head, which would reactivate where we've come from the stars, and then what I was shown was the energy when I put it on a person's back, and then I turn them around and I put the energy on from their hands, and then their feet, and then their chest. What happens is from the front to the back, it meshes right in. The coordinates go right into the heart chakra. And what I see when I do the attunement, I see your body, for me, with the meridian lines or the axonal lines. They're like electric lines all through your body. And I see them light up. I see the energy just moving through the meridians, going in all parts of the body. And everybody has a different way that it happens for them. Like, it turns on in different ways. And the last expo I did, it was the last woman that I did. Usually I see it light up from the right side of the person's body to the central, to the left side. And the last woman I did in the expo, I saw the light go right up her arm, go right up her chest, and then spread to all parts of her body. And I said to her afterwards, I said, this is really different. The light went up your left hand, up your left arm, into your body. And she just laughed. She said, "Oh, yeah." She said, "I'm left-handed."
That was it.
Yeah. So I kind of think sometimes it depends on which part of your body is dormant.
Dormant.
Yeah. Thank you, dormant.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
So when you're placing this, what would you say the time frame for each person? What is it, about 10 minutes or 3 minutes that you do the attunement?
I would say it takes between 5 and 8.
5 and 8. Okay.
Yeah.
And what are you seeing because you're a conduit, is that correct?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's what you've talked about before. Are you conduit for the Council of Light? Or
Well, when I do the affirmation, I am.
Okay.
The affirmation does not come from me. It comes from them, and they already know the person that I'm working with. They already know the person's issues, the person's light, the person's energy. And so then, because I do run the energy down through my crown, down through my third eye, and it goes into my shoulders and then into my hands. And I have noticed that there's different, I wouldn't say types, but I can record the different energies. There are different energies, yeah.
coming through you.
Yes, yes, yeah.
Just a council. Different councils coming through, I guess.
Yeah, and some, I know the council, usually I see them sitting around a table, but there's different council members that I know are working at different times. Yes, at different times.
That are coming through.
Yes.
We're talking to Dottie Woodward, energy practitioner, founder of Starfire Energy's channel to the Galactic Federation. She also works with the Council of Light. And so, Dottie, as you're doing this, and you do individual sessions as well, and it's a physical thing that you do. You don't do it online. We've talked about that before. Tell me a little bit about what happens with you. You're getting a healing session as well. Is that correct? I've heard that before by people.
That's amazing, yes, because first of all, I would like to say that the Galactic Federation and the Council of Light that I work with is so loving. It's so compassionate and so peaceful that sometimes it's really hard for me to find the words. Sometimes there's tears, especially when you're happy. It's not tears of anger. It's tears of love and compassion. And that actually comes through the energy. And so sometimes it's really, really hard to hold it and do the work. And even when I'm channeling, I have to stop and ground myself and ask for help sometimes because it is overwhelming.
Tell me a little bit about channeling. We've talked about that in the past, but you just mentioned it, and I want to make sure that people listening understand what channeling is. Can you give just a quick synopsis of what channeling is, and then can you talk about your first experience ever channeling?
Channeling for me, it's part of me. All I can say is it's part of who I am. I'm running conversations like in my mind. Even though I'm talking to you, I can hear them talking in the background. Sometimes, and they're very wise and they can joke. I mean, they have fun. They're full of laughter, and I can be talking to someone and they'll say something really funny in the background, and it's hard for me to ignore them sometimes. I just have to laugh, and people just look at me. But
it's like you're a conduit for them.
Yes,
so you're
yes.
like their antenna. You're like kind of like their radio station.
They told me I'm like the microphone for them.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah.
That's so beautiful. Can you go back to that first moment that you channeled? That stuff came out of your mouth that when you spoke, you were like, well, this isn't coming from me.
Right. I was in a meeting with a woman that I adored, that she was the head of the meeting. And I always felt less than, like smaller. You always look up to people that you think are really wonderful. Mm-hmm. And so she was talking, and all of a sudden I got this feeling that something wanted to come out of my mouth, and I kept saying, I can't say anything. I can't say anything. I can't be as much as she is. And so I started to cry. And she looked at me and she said, "What's the matter?" And I said, "I don't know. I feel like I have to say something and I don't want to." And so she encouraged me. She said, "Go ahead, say it." And so I, to this day, I don't remember what it was, but it was like all of a sudden, the energy that had consumed my whole body, that I could hardly hold it in, just exploded. And whatever it was, the words came out, and it was done. And then the meeting was over, and we all walked away. And I thought, oh my goodness, how could I have been, even said anything in her meeting? And so very slowly, very gently, I think that's when the energy moved through me for the first time and made and cleared the channel.
Is that before you got the download in the shower or after?
Oh, that was like 20 years before.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
And let's just jump on this really quick. I like jumping around because I think it's fun.
Yeah.
It keeps you on your toes. You were a 5th and 6th grade teacher for...
No, 4th and 5th.
4th and 5th, excuse me. Primary teacher for how long?
28 years.
28 years. You worked with the NASA program.
Yeah.
You, if I remember correctly, are you also a commander in the Coast Guard?
I was. They wouldn't let me retire.
Okay. So, I mean, you've done some, I don't want to say left brain, but I do want to say left brain things. And here you are, an energy practitioner channeling, which is beautiful to me. It makes me want to hug you over and over. So we're not going to hug on the radio all the time because that's not what we're here for. But what I want to say is it's amazing because where you are 20 years prior to what you were doing, channeling, you got this energy come through. Or before you got that download in the shower, you got that energy. And how did it change your life? That moment, that channeling, that in that meeting, because it wasn't an energy meeting. It wasn't, well, let's do some energy work. It was probably a meeting for work or something, correct?
Right. Well, if you're talking about the download, how did I feel the download for Starfire?
No. How did you feel about that channeling, that meeting? How did that change your life? That first moment that you started crying in that meeting and then you walked out.
I think I really fought it. Like, I can't do this. I can't. It's like how the King of Siam has a head. His head has to be higher than everybody else's. I just felt like I couldn't be an equal to anybody that did anything that powerful.
And did it start moving in a different direction or did it take you a while?
It took me it took me
Wow.
It took me quite a while. I would say 5 years, 8.
Wow.
Yeah.
How many more times within that 5 years did you start channeling more? Did you do it privately for people, friends, or just for yourself?
For myself, yeah. And then slowly, gradually, I started, like, I would be talking to someone and all of a sudden the council would say something really silly and I would have to laugh and then people would want to know what. So then I would say, well, I've got this conversation with somebody else, in the background, and then they would want to know what it was about. So slowly and gradually I had friends that wanted channeling, so... Yeah, and then I started because I was doing other modalities and I loved workshops, I started having workshops in my home. And so after the workshop was over, I would do a channeling before every, at the end of every meeting. So, yeah.
You would give out a little bit of information were you channeling the Galactic Federation or the Council of Light? or both?
The council.
Okay.
I think if you say the Galactic Federation, they're busy.
They are.
It's like trying to bother the UN.
Okay. I do want to talk a little bit. That is something we're going to go into a little bit more of what's going on in this world at this moment with Federation, the Galactic Federation. But I want to wrap up some of this modality that you do because I love it so much. I am so honored to be part of it at this moment. You did a session for me, so I want to say thank you very much.
Welcome.
What are some of the things when somebody has a session with you? Like, what are some of the things that they couldn't be expecting? Because you cleared some things in me. What were some of the things that you said? Physical and etheric. I'm not asking like what they were, but how does all that? How did you get all that? Was that from that download as well when you start clearing, or was that stuff that you picked up along the way?
No, I started after I retired from being a teacher. I just started moving out and doing learning different modalities. I started being a Reiki master teacher. And then I did Karuna Reiki with William Rand, the head of the International Reiki Center. I did Egyptian Reiki, and I was attuned to Reiki in Stonehenge, inside Stonehenge, which was totally amazing. And so the different modalities that I did just kept me moving forward. And so the modality that I do with the Reiki, I do Usui Reiki. But you know what I know, when my friends and I were in Eagles Rest in New Mexico, I was meditating, and they told me all the things that you have learned are now you. They're all a conglomeration. They're all mixed up, and you're just that energy. And so when I put someone on the table, and I say I'm really doing Reiki, I'm not. I'm just doing all of it. It's the reconnection. It's Reiki. It's everything, and that I've learned to do. And so I put someone on the table, and then I clear the space. I've learned so much from Dr. Eric Pearl with the reconnection and working with the etheric body. So I will start with the etheric body, working and clearing that. I do the Usui Reiki, the points on the physical body. So when I say I'm doing Reiki, I'm working at the physical level, and then after that's cleared, I work in the etheric level, the subtle bodies, and then at the end I do a soul clearing, which is short, but I take part of your energy field, and I ask the angels to clear your motherboard, the part of your soul, and then after that, and someone's processing all that, laying there quietly, just feeling all the energy, and when they're through with that, then I have to quote unquote wake them up. And then I do a process called the Lotus of Life Star Matrix activation. I have a Lotus of Life configuration that is actually sacred geometry. And that is sacred geometry in a metal flower that as I pass it and scan it over your body, I can feel where there's stuck energy in the field. And if I feel there's stuck energy, then I say, do you want to release that? And if the person says, I release it now, then the cells hear your words, and it's so heartfelt that they say, oh, I don't need to hold it anymore. And so a lot of the stuck energy is released from different past issues.
I had a lot of stuck energy released. We're going to talk a little bit about some of the things that I felt during my session. We're going to take a little break. Remember, every Monday night at 10 p.m. Central, you can listen live on kwvh.org. You can email me at any time at opentheye, like your eyeball, 13@gmail.com. We're going to take a little break, find out how my session was with Dottie, and hear a little bit about the Galactic Federation and where we're going in this world. We'll be right back. Talking to Dottie Woodward. She is an energy practitioner, founder of Starfire Energy's channel to the Galactic Federation, also the Council of Light. And we are talking a little bit about the session that we had today, this morning, this mid-morning, I guess, and how beautiful it was. Some of the things that I felt, Dottie, was as I'm laying on the table, this is Starfire Energies, as I'm laying on the table, you did some Reiki for about 45 minutes or so, and then you went through and you took, what do you got, the lotus? It's a lotus thing that you took above me, and you cut some cords or cut something or released some energy from me, some stuck energy. Is that right?
Right, but yeah, I did the soul clearing. I did the Reiki, the physical body, and then the etheric body, and then I did a soul clearing that takes maybe 10 minutes. And then when you become conscious, and I wake you up, because I want you to be able to say, I will clear this. And then I do the lotus of life.
Okay, then that's when you do it.
Yes.
Yeah, because what the things I felt, I literally could feel my whole body feeling like it was in water, like when you're in water and somebody's taking you and moving you around and you're splashing around, but you're not. That's what I felt. I also felt at one point my heart opening, and then this is what was interesting. You were touching my hips at one time, and then you must have left, but I felt you at my feet or down below by my legs, and then but I still thought you were at my hips. So it was like I felt the energy of you or something in by my hips. So I thought you were there, and then I was like, how'd she get down to my feet? And she's still up here. And I was kind of confused a little bit about that, but knowing that you probably had some extra energy helping or guides or something as well.
Yes, absolutely. When I do a session, I always have different energies or entities coming through. It could be they actually help me. It could be an angel. It could be a master. It could be somebody's ancestors. It could be a loved one. There's always people or energies from the other side that they want to come through and they want to help you. And I would say every session that I've ever done has had at least one or two entities from the other side coming in to help and be there with with me for the session. I had a young woman that she does indigenous music, and she's half Indian, and she had the most beautiful Indian brave that came in as soon as she got on the table, and he was beside me, and as I was working, he was doing this Indian dance he wasn't standing up. He was like close to the ground, and he was dancing in like a circle, and it was so amazing. Sometimes it's hard for me to keep my mind on what I'm doing because I'm watching what's happening in the field. And I've had grandmothers and grandfathers. I had one session where this man was on the table, and I was at the gentleman's feet, and there was this gentleman from the other side was at his head near his left shoulder, and it had a tall black hat on, like he looked exactly like Abraham Lincoln.
No way.
And I'm saying, yeah, the whole time I was doing the session, I kept saying, no way. Why would Abraham Lincoln be here? And so after the session was over, I said to him, I said, do you know anybody in your family that wears a tall silk hat? And he said, oh, yeah. He said, my great-grandfather always wore a top silk hat. We used to make fun of him.
That's so funny. And they were there. And they were there.
Yep.
Who did you see with me? You saw some, can you tell me?
Yeah, I saw, it was about, as far as I could see, I don't know how tall the ceilings are, but this energy was as tall as the ceiling, probably even taller. And it was running energy. You could not see the shape of like it would be a human being, but I could tell it was energy, and it had masculine energy, and it was like a bluish green, and it was almost like water. The energy that the I want to say the person, or the energy of who it was, this masculine energy, was it would look like almost like a waterfall, because I could see the energy, but you couldn't see the shape of their body, because they're coming from a different level or dimension or frequency, whatever you want to choose to call it. And so it's very difficult for them to try to come through to our 3D dimension and look as if they would, in their own dimension, because that's too hard for them to dumb down their energy.
Because our vibration is so low here.
Right.
It's lower than what they are.
Right.
So once we leave this physical body, we start to go up into higher vibration. Is that correct?
Absolutely. It's the difference between a drum and something like a violin.
It's
the energy, and so what we have to do is we're not going anywhere. We're not going up. We're not going down. That energy of that entity that came in the room when you were there. It wasn't coming down from somewhere. It was here, but it was such a higher vibration that we couldn't see the whole shape of it. And that's like people think that that they're going to ascend, like they're going to go someplace like up to heaven or up to a higher dimension. We're not. It's just we are going to evolve to a higher frequency. Because when I was in the Coast Guard Auxiliary, I was part of my working up to becoming a commander. I was in comms, and when you're in comms, communication, you have to learn about frequencies. And so on this planet, and you would know the frequencies of the radio, the AM, the FM, and then you get to higher frequencies like ultraviolet light frequencies. So when people think that they're going to ascend, they're not. They're going to become, depending on how much love, how much compassion that they can handle in their body, they're going to evolve to that state or to a higher state. Yeah.
So it would be how much love and compassion they would have inside their soul. So a person now would be practicing on maybe forgiveness and love and all that right now. So we are always prepared to ascend or, to raise that vibration.
Yes.
So that's and we can raise that vibration in us now, right here, while we're walking, wake, and like in our life right now, being alive. We can do that by being practicing forgiveness, by practicing love. It's interesting. You mentioned this, and in the group, and I'm gonna say it. You mentioned back where you live, which is the East Coast. You mentioned somebody came in and in the Amish community, and they killed the girls that were in school. Correct?
Yes.
And the Amish got together and they forgave this person, so this person wasn't prosecuted.
Right.
And
a lot of people didn't like that because they felt, an eye for an eye, or he needed to be punished for his crime. And the Amish families got together and they said, no, we need to forgive this person. Even though they took our loved ones, because I forget how many young girls there were that he slaughtered for no reason. I think there was more than 6, but maybe less than 10.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's so hard to do, especially in this time frame in this world right now. I think for any time frame really in this world, we, like you said, eye for eye, and to have that forgiveness in our hearts, no matter how hard it is, it is a practice of that vibration. And that is how you had mentioned a while back, that is how you also go into changing into different dimensions, is that vibration that's in us right now.
Right.
Is that change. And so anything else that you can give me on my session, which I love, look at this, I'm asking, for the energy that was in there, was there any information that he gave to you, or did he help you facilitate my attunement?
I did not see him helping, but I felt that he was. I felt that he has been with you. He has been with you. In fact, he communicated that to me by a knowing that he has been with you for eons and eons and eons. I got the feeling that you just need to know that that's a part of you, whether it is one of your guides, one of your angels, or you. It's part of you.
Yeah.
And the more, I will tell you, I certified to be a quantum healer too.
Yeah.
But it takes so much that I have to go back to the things the Starfire that I love, but all you need right now is to know that is part of who you are, where you came from, however, because the more we evolve, the more our past lives are going to start bleeding through, and the more of who you truly are, every little piece of it. Because if you believe like I do that you have had more than one life, we've been here, we've done this, cycling from one life to another, evolving our soul. That's part of why we're here. We come here to work out so that we can work through all of our issues. This is a very, very hard school of life. And we're here to work out our issues, to evolve. And the higher we can evolve here, the more who we really are as a soul will start bleeding through, and you'll be able to see who you've been in all the little, it's kind of like fractals and or like a diamond. And then when you get the diamond to the light, you can see through it and see all of it. And part of what we're evolving to is we are carbon-based human beings walking the planet. And as we evolve together, we are going to become more crystalline, more crystallized. Yeah.
That's beautiful.
More energy.
Let's talk about what's going on with the Galactic Federation now. I mean, you mentioned a couple days ago that we are having the spaceships are getting closer. And I had heard that last week from someone else, and they had said that the starships are getting closer and closer. Can you mention a little bit about that?
For the last, I would say it started, I would say maybe three years ago, that I almost, you know how when you're in a room and there's something on the ceiling and you can feel it's there? Well, that's how I felt. All of a sudden, like I was channeling, but then all of a sudden I felt like those ships were like right above my head. And there were a lot of them. There were like thousands of them because I have, yeah. So anyhow, then I guess it was a couple weeks ago, they all cleared out, like slowly. They all moved away, and there was only 3 spaceships that were huge up there, and they were the only ones there. And then last week, they all just they started moving in again. Apparently, some of them have moved out away from where they were, and then they started moving back. So there were a lot of them, really, until it felt to me like above our planet there were, and they can you can't see them, like they can become invisible, cloaking. So anyhow, we can't see them, but I saw them almost like a solid ceiling above us. And then right before yesterday, the workshop, all of it, because a lot of times I go up on board ship. I have a vice commander up there that I work with. His name's Da. And all of a sudden on board the ship that I go on, that I can see myself, everybody was running. I don't know why, but I even said to my friends, I said, oh my goodness, everybody's running everywhere. It was almost like panic. And so I don't know what that was about.
This was yesterday.
No, it was the day before.
Okay.
And so anyhow, then last night they all settled down again because I checked in on them, and everybody was back in their regular places.
When you go up on the ship, we didn't talk about this a lot on the last show that you were on. When you go up on the ship, tell me a little bit about what that looks like and what that feels like and what happens.
When I go up on the ship, I see myself walking through a hallway or like a corridor, and usually I'll be looking for Dob. He's an ET, and the conference room is right on. Usually, as I'm walking down the corridor, the conference room is on my right, and I'll look in there to see if anybody's there, if anybody's meeting. Sometimes they are, because there's different star elders working, and then the display room is usually right in front of me to my left, and it's a huge. It's not so huge, but to me it feels really great because it's kind of like very light, and it has ships. It has the seats in it, and it has the control room, but it has a whole. They can make the window that you can look out into outer space. You can see that. But then they have like a lot of today. Like I was watching, I was up there and I was seeing that they had these gauges that they were looking at the. You know how we have the Schumann resonance? You know what that is?
Yes.
Okay, the Schumann resonance is a scientific instrument that measures the energy coming from Mother Earth, and also the energy that's coming from our soul, our sun. And so, what I saw, they were working with an instrument that showed not the energy. but emotion, which is energy.
Yeah.
But it was actually, they were looking at the anger and the sadness of the energy on our planet right now.
Wow.
They were gauging that.
Wow.
Yeah.
So they were keeping track of it.
They're cute. Yes, they are. They are absolutely, the good ones are here to help. They've been watching our planet for so long, and they, and they didn't want us to crash and burn. I mean, think of what would happen if we would move towards some kind of nuclear war and destroy ourselves. That, that would more than destroy ourselves. That would destroy our solar system. Mm-hmm. We hold a special place in the universe and in the galaxy, and it would be like playing dominoes. It would, if we went crash and burn, then it would knock everything out of its places.
Okay, so it has to keep in. How often do you go up? Do you go up like every day? I mean, is that something? I mean, is that something?
It's like part of my life. Usually I have time when I'm, in bed, or if I'm just meditating or not having anything to do, sometimes I'll go up and check.
And you're always invited. They always invite, like you're always open to going up.
Oh, yeah. I'm like part of it. They walk right past me. Like, hi, how are you? Nod. They usually nod or something.
So the one that is connected to you is Dob?
Da. Yeah, Da.
What can you say? What star system, or is there a star system that?
No, it's not.
He's not from.
What happens is the staff or the people on the ship come from different star systems.
Okay, so they're all different.
Right. It's like if we would have a shot when we had the shuttle, we had astronauts from different countries working. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's kind of like that.
Yeah.
Oh, so beautiful that you are able to just go up and get some information and relay it back to us. Somebody that is listening for the first time to this and looking at, how they can help their selves evolve, what would be a couple of sentences that you could say to someone to help them evolve?
I would say, when you look at a person, know that they are good. Every person on this planet, Mother Earth, we are all the same. We are all one. And we are all children of Source. We all came in the beginning from Source. And no matter how you feel about the person that you're looking at, they are good. Some people just forgot. And the only way that we're all going to be able to evolve if we all do it together, because we can't leave somebody out. And when you think about their heart is just like yours. It has the light and the love inside. Sometimes they just forget about it.
That's beautiful. Thank you. Mm-hmm. Dottie Woodward, energy practitioner, founder of Starfire Energies, channel to the Galactic Federation. Is there any message that the Galactic will come in and share with us for a couple minutes?
Oh, sure. We would say to you, my dear ones, children of planet Earth, you are about to ascend or evolve to a different time, a different place in the system. And we say to you, now is the time to go within. Now is your time to look within your heart. You are the light of the universe. You have been created for a special time as this. And this is your time to find love and find light in your heart. We ask you to go within. For each and every one of you is a unique, wonderful, part of who we are. We are all together as one. And we are saying to you at this time, as you follow your footsteps within your path, know that we are with you. And we say to you, you need to ask for help anytime that you need it. You need to ask out loud. We cannot help you if you do not ask. For you see, dear ones, you are on planet Earth that was created for freedom, freedom of will. And so we are standing near you. We are waiting for your call. And we ask you, any time you need anything, we are here to help you. We cannot expect you to do it all by yourself, but we know that we can help you if you allow us to be part of who you are. And we ask you for time. Things that you ask for will not be given to you in an instant, in a second. But while you are waiting, we say to you, open your heart and love. Love all that you can and be grateful for all that you have. Think of the people that do not have what you have. There are millions of people that do not have what you have. But we are all one, and soon we will all be together in a better way. It is so, and so it is.